Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 101 and today I have got some news for you guys. I have spent the past 4, maybe even 5 hours just looking at camera equipment, okay? This was meant to be a really fast thing that I was going to do. I was just going to browse through some camera equipment because I fancy some new bits and pieces. And I gotta tell you guys, it's not gone so well. I keep finding things that I like the thought of, but they're missing really key elements. Essentially, I'm looking for a new vlogging camera because I've been doing a bunch of vlogs lately. If you haven't seen them, check out the vlogging channel. Links will be down in the description. But I really want a full frame camera. Okay, full frame is the most important thing. It needs to have 4K, or at least I'd ideally like it to have 4K, but if not, that's totally fine. I really want it to have the flippy out screen, and I also sort of want it to have in-body stabilization, so I don't have to worry about getting image stabilization lenses. But here's the thing, that combination does not exist, and I am just trying to weigh up all of the things that I can do without. And I have to say, it's been a massive challenge, and it hasn't gone well so far because I've just sat here being confused for around about past 4 hours. It's just how it's been. So I just thought I'd let you guys know what I've been up to just before starting recording this episode. But anyway, in the start of today's episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on our doors once again. As you guys know, we built all of these. It was all going well until the creeper came along and destroyed this thing. Now this door is fully constructed, it works like a charm. You can see we've got the full 6x6 opening and the 6x6 closing, but we need to fix up this place and also do some decorating as well. Now let's just say, I tried my best to fix this thing off the top of my head, just building things that I seem to remember, and it doesn't seem to be going so well, but I have just remembered that there's meant to be a block and then some redstone there. So this could actually be just a tiny bit promising. No, that seems to have made it worse. So I think this should just about do it. I just got the second account on to check what was going on this side and compare it to what's going on this side. This piece of redstone was missing. So now we can pop down to the bottom. We can fill in all of the blocks for the doors. So we're going to need blocks going right the way up like this. And we're going to see if this thing is functional. Have we fixed the creeper explosion that happened at the end of the previous episode? Here goes. We have got a redstone torch. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so the 4x4 piston door is now back up and running. Finally, we have got it up and running after that little rage quit at the end of the previous episode. So how about we do all of the decoration to connect up this thing to this massive monster right here. With these final few blocks, the entire little cave will be completed. And this is what it looks like. And I can see you there. That's a little bit concerning. Hopefully he doesn't somehow pop out when we open up the 4x4 piston door, because that'd be bad news. But this is what we've created. And it looks pretty cool. I feel like this needs to be less of a hard line. So we'll quickly swap that out for some stone. And yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool. I've lit all of it up using our hoppers and our pressure plates. Let's just quickly check that nothing can spawn in here. Oh, okay, so we've got some dark spots, so I'll quickly light those up. And also, I need to run the pressure plates into our giant 6x6 piston door, so that also has to be done as well. All the redstone is fully completed, so I'm just going to run back over to the other side, and we're going to do the first full test of all of the doors running into the redstone consultancy. So this is going to be like 5 doors in 20 seconds, a slightly worse version of 20 doors in 100 seconds, but it should end up looking pretty cool. So here goes. So we walk forwards, we've got the iron doors, then we've got the 2x2 piston door, the 4x4 vault door, we've got the 4x4 piston door, and then finally the monstrous 6x6 vault door. And it looks awesome. As I say, I'm so happy with the entrance to this place. This is by far my favourite entrance to anything I think I've built on the Hermitcraft server, and possibly ever. I mean, it reminds me of the Get Smart intro. If you haven't seen that before, would highly suggest checking it out. Look it up on YouTube. But now we're actually going to start work on the redstone consultancy itself. And I have to say, I have no idea what design I'm going to be going for. Now, because I have no idea what I'm going to be building here, I have no idea what I want the redstone consultancy to look like. I thought it would probably be a good idea to do some building in the redstone testing world, and while I do that, I thought I'd do a quick AFK session up at the top of the base here, so we load up the mob spawner. So right now we have got around about 8.5 stacks of gunpowder in this chest right here, and we're going to see how efficient this thing is. So it's probably going to take me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to do this, and we should get ourselves some pretty comprehensive results. And I am back on the server, and I've got some fantastic news. While I was building it, I also did a little bit of camera shopping once again for the second time today. I have made a purchase. A7R2, the Sony A7R2 camera, and also the Zeiss Batis 18mm f2.8 lens, both of which are fantastic, just amazing pieces of equipment that are far better than I am. Basically, I've got all the gear and no idea, but I'm very excited to start using them. And let's see how many items we have got from our system. I'm a moron! It's not turned on! I don't believe it! Oh, I was in such a good mood! I can't believe it. Stage 1 is completed. I've cleared out all of the space up at the top there, and at the risk of sounding just a tiny bit boring, I think I know what style I'm going to be going for when it comes to the Redstone Consultancy, and I have to say it's very similar to what we have going on with the Nether Hub. We're going to be having red hardened clay, we're going to be having stone bricks, stone slabs, acacia wood, redstone blocks, redstone lamps, redstone glass, that sort of thing. Just sticking with the industrial red theme, basically, which I would say suits the Redstone Consultancy. I think that sort of makes sense. So that's what we're going to be doing today, but it's going to be bigger and also much, much better. Right, the entire floor area is fully mapped out, pretty much. We've got all of the stone slabs in place. As per usual, I have just opted for stone slabs. It's huge. I hadn't actually realised quite how big I'd managed to make this thing. I do believe it's a 20 by 20 area. Let's quickly count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perfect. And yeah, that's massive, okay? It's an absolutely enormous area, but we want the Redstone Consultancy to be very grand this season, because in the previous few seasons, it's been a tiny bit on the smaller and cramped side. So this is like a big operation right here. We're going to have tall ceilings and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to have to go out to gather up some acacia wood and also the other bits and bobs that we require. And then this thing should be looking good. I'm bringing 35 diamonds over to the shopping district, and hopefully I should be able to buy everything that I need from all of the shops there. That would really come in handy. I'm going to try my best to fund this entire project of things in the Brown District, which is something that I don't think I've ever done before. So guys, some extra planning has been done, and I have gone through a bunch of designs between the previous clip and this clip right here. So first things first, I managed to get all of the items from the shopping district. That really wasn't an issue, and we still have 28 diamonds left to go. So I think I probably used maybe 5 or 6 diamonds in total, which is absolutely ridiculous. But more importantly, I have placed in all of the logs going around the outside. Originally, they were spaced 5 blocks apart, and I didn't think that looked particularly good. So I've spaced them 3 blocks apart, which means I've had to change the entire shape of this area right here. So it's got slightly bigger in this direction, and also slightly bigger in this direction, or it's got shorter in one direction and bigger in the other direction. Either way, it now fits perfectly, and we've got ourselves a rather cool looking design that is going to look very, very grand indeed. I definitely feel like there is some grandness going on here with all of the pillars going around. So I think as far as blocks are concerned, in the walls, I'm going to be using the andesite. And then we're also going to have some cobblestone and some redstone lamps and probably some redstone blocks as well. I personally think that seems like a good idea. I might even get rid of the redstone blocks and literally just have maybe a little bit of cobblestone or stone slabs. That does look cool. Oh, I've just had a thought. Tinfoil Chef is selling the interesting types of stone bricks. Maybe that might be an idea. I'll have to have a play around with it. How is this guy moving so fast? How is he moving so fast? What on earth? Did you guys see that? That was like the fastest skeleton I've ever seen in my life. These are like super mobs. So the final few andesite blocks are making their way in now. We've got 2, 3, and then this ring going around like this. And we're increasing the height of all the trees as well. So as you can see, we have increased the scale of the Redstone Consultancy. Now this thing is absolutely huge and looking amazing. I absolutely love it. The only part that I'm not quite sure on is this spot right here. Now this is obviously the part that syncs up with the 6x6 vault door that we have on that side. And that's where our chest and everything like that is going to be going, where people can place in their requests. I honestly don't know if I like it, so we might have to do something about that. Maybe we could even just put in a window in this section looking off in that direction. That actually seems quite cool to me, But for now, we're going to try our best to work out what we are going to fill these gaps with. As you can see, we have got the chiseled stone bricks, we also have some stone slabs, and we have some cobblestone as well, or we could fill it with redstone blocks, but I'd have to go out and buy them. This one's going to be a bit of a challenge. It pains me to do this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 diamonds for 1 stack of redstone blocks. That is absolutely obscene. Right, let's quickly craft it up. But everywhere else is out of stock. We don't have any redstone anymore, so I think I'm definitely going to have to do a mining session at some point in the near future. So this is what we've ended up with, and I don't know about you guys, but it feels really flat. It feels like there's not a whole lot going on, and I kind of want to change out the blocks to the sides now. Maybe add in... That looks a lot better. Yes, I like that. I like that a lot more. I think that really does make an improvement. But then it's like a solid line going all the way through. I'll sample it. I've got to say, guys, placing these stairs is a massive pain in the backside. It's such a slow process. Look, I have to just really squeeze it in and... just about, and so this is the current state of the Redstone Consultancy room, and I am chuffed to bits. I think it looks absolutely mega. It's a huge place. We really don't need this much space. There is literally going to be a chest in the middle right there. That's going to be it. There's nothing going on, but I just think it looks awesome. I mean, it definitely reminds me of the evil science lab or the evil lair. I think it was the evil redstone lair or something like that I built at the bottom of the old Redstone Consultancy on Hermitcraft Series 3. That was cool. This one is like 10 million times better. I think it just looks amazing. So we've just got the ceiling left to do, and we're going to be repeating exactly the same design. So we're going to be having the red hardened clay going around the outside, then we're going to have the stone slabs up at the top. And one thing that I have just thought is that could be tough to place. It shouldn't be too bad. I can jump off all the stairs and do that, but definitely the central section with all the stone slabs, we're going to need a whole ton of scaffolding. Can anyone tell me if there's anyone on the server who just sells stone on its own? Because I keep having to go down into my mine shaft and pick up this stuff, and I have to say it's driving me around the bend a little bit. So if anyone does sell stone, then let me know, and if they don't, you know what, I think I might set up my own shop. This seems like a great way to make lots and lots of diamonds. Yep, this is just as much of a pain in the backside as I expected it to be. It's just, placing slabs on a ceiling is never good fun. When you can't actually reach the ceiling, it's doubly not as good fun. And in the next couple seconds, this entire zone will be fully slabbed up. So there it is. The roof is now in. We can take out all of the scaffolding that we were running right the way across as well. And this is what the Redstone Consultancy room actually looks like. And by Jove, it is massive. That is enormous. Wow, okay, so this looks incredible. And the best news is that right about here, this spot right here, this is where our chest is going to be going. So our chest is going to go right there, and that's all that's going to be in this room. It's going to be like super minimal. So we've got all this space, and that is the chest in the center there with some instructions of what to do. So I'm going to gather those bits and pieces up, and we can finish this place. This should just about cover it. Place your redstone build requests in here. Thank you. That's it. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Redstone Consultancy is, because I actually didn't really explain this in the episode where I built all of this, it's essentially a redstone building service. So if someone is having an issue with a redstone contraption, or perhaps they want to build a redstone contraption, they can come in here and they can place in a request in this chest right here, and then little old me will pop on over and I will get to work and I will actually build it. Now this is something that I've done in the previous through Hermitcraft seasons. It's gone really well, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to build for episode 100, but I have to say the entrance took a lot longer than I was expecting, so we only ended up building the entrance part to it. But this thing is now fully completed. Now we have to do a little bit of redstone to hook up this chest right here into a redstone lamp that is going to be on the surface, so that I can easily tell when there is a request. The redstone line is in place, this redstone lamp is now activated, and I just thought I'd quickly show you how far this thing's had to travel. So obviously, it's a very simple circuit, right? It's just an output from a chest running into a redstone lamp. But look at the distance that we've had to go. So we've got the redstone torch tower, which makes its way up there. Then we have got the redstone line, which goes all the way off in this direction, then all the way off in that direction, runs it into a little area over there, then travels off a little bit further, then finally runs into the chest. So I had to do a lot of excavating and also a lot of mapping out because I didn't really know where I was going. But if we pop back up to the top, you may have noticed that the entrance to this place doesn't look particularly grand. I mean, we have literally a hole in the floor. That's it, which, yeah, that's not a good start. We've got a really cool entrance into the Redstone Consultancy underground. All of the piston doors, and then obviously the consultancy itself is absolutely enormous. So that's very grand too. This doesn't quite make the cut, does it? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come up with an entrance for this place. I have a few ideas. I think I'm going to keep it quite simple, but I just want to make sure that I get them right. And as per usual, I have left all of the necessary resources behind at the drone. I mean, I should really be counting how many times I actually travel to this place in the episode, because I think it would be in the triple digits range sometimes. It gets ridiculous. Right, so my first idea for a design is to do a little bit of a muddly mess. You guys have seen me do this a couple times in the recent episodes of Hermitcraft. For example, when we're working on the community builds area, I tend to do this sort of thing. And I think it looks really good, especially with the andesite. I don't think I normally use andesite in this little system, and it's something that I should do more often because they look like paving stones, you know, like single paving stones. The stone slabs sort of do, but these definitely do, and that's something that I really like. So I think I'm just going to chuck in the blocks around here, but one thing that I will say is it is looking very messy. Like really, really messy. Like, this thing is just vomiting stone. We'll try some more. The Redstone Consultancy. I think I've spelled everything correctly there. That is all looking very good. And this thing is now officially open for business. Now, the entranceway, it's okay. I quite like it, to be fair. I always like this sort of thing. So this is a nice block combination. We've got the iron bars, we've got the acacia wood, we have got all of these as well. One thing that I have just thought, which could be a nice little detail, is the orange doesn't really fit in with the design. So maybe, oh yes! Oh, look at that! Grian would be proud. This looks really, really good. That is such a cool detail. Wait, I'm going to do it to the top ones. Even though you can't see these, that needs to be done as well. I mean, it's made it so grey. So very grey. But the thing is that obviously it's a consultancy. It's very industrial. We're working on industrial things. It does kind of make sense. And I think that really does round it off. I think that looks awesome. Well, okay, so there we go. That is the Redstone Consultancy all done and dusted. We'll run through it real quick and I'll show you exactly how the experience is going to go. So we need to break this chest right here. There's nothing special in there. And obviously get rid of that thing. And then the hermits are going to run through, opening up all of the doors just like this. And it's going to be great. They're going to pop in. They're going to place in their redstone request in the end chest. And hopefully they will have a really good service. And I personally cannot believe how ridiculously large we have made this room. So I thought to round up today's episode of Hermitcraft, we could do a tiny bit of restocking of one of my slightly less loved shops on the Hermitcraft server, the TNT store. Now obviously I've got the bookshop, that is doing really well, the casino's doing well, the bone barn's doing well. The TNT shop, built it about 50 episodes ago, and it did okay. It got a few diamonds in there. But in the end, I didn't really restock it. I don't think I've actually restocked this thing for probably around about 30 episodes. So we should probably refill that. And while I do this, I just thought I'd have a real quick chat to you about the reason that this episode of Hermitcraft has been so messy. Okay, because you may have noticed it's been a little bit all over the place, and 100% the reason for that is cameras. As I mentioned at the start of this episode, I've been browsing cameras for like the 4 hours before I started recording. And that sort of continued. I'm one of those people that I get fixated on things and I couldn't take my mind off of it. So every time I recorded a clip, I'd record the clip and then I'd do some Hermitcrafty bits and then I'd be like, oh, I could look at this, and I'd get sidetracked and start looking at cameras again. So that basically meant that I really struggled to record the first few moments of this episode. So then I did the AFK session to hopefully try and fix it. I ended up trying to buy a camera in that time, and then my card actually got declined for some reason, which I'm very happy that it did, because I was looking around, it was the cheapest one, but then my card got declined a couple times, and then I took some time off. I was like, okay, well, I'll look into this, and then I tried it again, and then the session timed out on the actual website, so then I went away. I was like, okay, I don't really fancy doing that. 3 hours later, I came back, tried to buy the camera again, and PayPal had crashed, so I just gave up on that website entirely, went back to a website that I had been looking at previously for the camera that was a little bit more expensive, and they had one on there that was used, it had been returned, but it was considerably cheaper than any of the other ones, and believe it or not, that's actually arrived. So all of that happened yesterday. That camera has now arrived. I'm extremely excited. It's currently sat downstairs. It's the Sony a7R II camera, which is absolutely ridiculous. And also I've got a Carl Zeiss lens, which is an 18mm f2.8 lens. And I am chuffed. I am chuffed a bit. It looks amazing. I've been playing around with it recently. But that is the reason. That is the reasoning behind this episode being a tiny bit all over the place, but it does mean that awesome vlogs are going to be coming in the future on the vlogging channel and also on this channel as well, so you have that to look forward to. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. We have restocked the shop. Let's just quickly go and look in the bookstore to see if we have any extra diamonds. I'm not 100% certain, but we'll take a peep. I imagine we have... Oh, yes! We've got 3... Oh, we are in the money. See, this is why I prefer this shop. I mean, we've got 7 diamonds there. That's 8, 9. That's 12 diamonds in total. Oh my word, we are raking it in. 17. 22. 24. That is one of the biggest single hauls from a shop I think I've had recently. So we're going to have to do some more AFK fishing to fill in all of these spots. But as I say, unfortunately, ladies and gents, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.